In this video, we're looking at the Our Country section of the LSF dashboard. Our Country is split into four sections: Indicator Overview, International Comparison, New Zealand Distribution, and New Zealand Population Subgroup Comparison. We can use these four sections to gauge levels of current and future well-being for New Zealanders, which we can then use to inform policy on a broad scale. Current well-being can be thought of as well-being at a point in time, and we measure it through 12 well-being domains. On the Indicator Overview, you can see all 12 domains divided and their associated indicators in the form of sparkline graphs. A sparkline is a simplified line graph, useful for making quick comparisons. Here we can provide a snapshot of the overall state of well-being in New Zealand. You can click on any sparkline graph to expand it into a full line graph. Each dot on a line graph represents a data point, and each data point measures the same variable at a different point in time. The year that each data point was collected is recorded on the horizontal axis, while the vertical axis records the values of these data points. Straight lines connect each consecutive data point to show the trend over time. The more data we have, the better our inferences about where trends are headed in the future. Next, we'll look at comparing well-being in New Zealand with the rest of the OECD. The OECD is an organisation comprised of 36 high-income democratic countries, including New Zealand. OECD stands for the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development. Box and whisker plots are great for measuring how well we're doing relative to other countries in the OECD. Each grey box and whisker represents the OECD distribution for that year. The highest point of each whisker is the highest value in any OECD country in that year, while the lowest point is the lowest value in any OECD country in that year. The middle line in each box is the value of the middle-ranked OECD country in that year. We call this the median. The top line in the box is the median for the highest half of the OECD. We call this the upper quartile. We're not in competition with the other countries in the OECD. We don't necessarily want to track too high, as this might be suggestive of global instability. Still, if we track too low, it indicates that New Zealand is not performing up to par. The New Zealand distribution is especially useful when looking at levels of inequality, both economic and social. In this section, you can isolate particular domains and see how they're distributed across the population. Stacked bar graphs show trends for different categories within a well-being indicator. The data used in these graphs are taken from representative surveys, in which respondents evaluate their own situation and place themselves in their preferred category. The categories within bars are ranked vertically. The worst category is shown in the bottom segment, the next worst in the following segment, and so on up to the best category in the top segment. Each bar adds to 100% of the data pool in any given year. Let's look at the distribution of financial well-being in New Zealand. The proportion of people who do not have enough income for everyday needs has been decreasing since at least 2008, particularly between 2012 and 2014, and the proportion of people who have enough, or more than enough, has increased since 2008. Population subgroup comparisons can be extremely helpful in informing policy, as they allow us to pinpoint where our efforts can have the most impact. We might decide that a greater portion of our attention is best focused on those subgroups tracking below the average. You can choose your desired population focus from the drop-down menu. The options here include age, ethnic group, region, and sex distributions. Multi-line graphs are line graphs that include more than one data series. By including them all on the same graph, it's possible to compare between the categories. You can add, remove, or isolate certain categories by clicking on them in the key at the bottom of the graph. Thank you for watching this short video. For more information on how to use the LSF dashboard, please see the quick guides.